Good evening. Here we are having our living room talk tonight. We haven't gone to bed yet, so we just finished watching the presidential debates
Number two.
with Donald Trump and Hillary Rodham Clinton. And oh boy.
Yeah. Well, last time we were on, we promised that we were going to not get involved in all the mudslinging and all the periphery things, and we were going to stick to
The issues.
the issues, which every candidate says we need to talk about the issues, and then they slam the other candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, we watched the debate and we had to sit here for quite a while going, okay, when did they talk about the issues?
Yes.
So, after quite a bit of thinking, we came up with three. One was Syria and Aleppo, which we already dealt with in a previous video, so I don't think we need to deal with that one.
Rehash that.
Another one was Obamacare, and the other one was what was the other one?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, what was it? I guess we're going to talk
The
about
third
Obamacare.
Was, Obamacare, Syria, and I don't know. Maybe it'll come to us.
There was Supreme Court Justice.
Oh
but
God,
that,
the Supreme
but that wasn't
Court?
it because
No,
that's not a
That
policy
wasn't,
one.
but they did talk about that. So,
Okay,
anyways,
let's talk about Obamacare.
Obamacare.
Maybe the other one will come to us. Besides, we'll run out of time by then.
Right.
Two different approaches. Well, it seems like there's pretty much agreement that Obamacare has failed, and I don't think it's quite fair to say it's failed completely. I mean, people that I work with are grateful that say their dependent children, the age at which they're covered is extended, that they're covering previously existing conditions. I know my nephew was really glad about that. So there's a number of things that I think people like about Obamacare.
Yeah.
What they don't like is their rates going up by 60% in some cases, consistently going up. And even when, like my company said, well, they weren't going to raise our rates so much, but it just meant the company is picking up the other part of it. So it's still an expense, and it still comes out of what might be, raises and things like that. So the fact that Obamacare has caused rates to go up is the big concern for people. So two different solutions. It seemed like Trump was putting an awful lot on a typical Republican approach that says if you increase competition, you get better care and prices come down. And so he would remove the boundaries between states so that um, insurance companies could operate across state lines, increasing competition. How well that plays out, I don't know. That concerns me personally because I see that typically what happens is you end up with three big insurance companies that compete, and the rest of them are driven out, and it drives down to a few that compete or don't really compete a lot, and you drive out a lot of other ones. So I'm not sure I like that approach. But it was
Isn't that what we had before?
actually we've always had the division along state lines, and we always had you know, um, but we didn't have the government stepping in saying you have to buy insurance, and if you don't, the IRS is going to come after you.
Right. Ding you for it.
That's one of my and Trump's solution is wipe the slate clean and start with a clean sheet of paper and rewrite whatever the government involvement in healthcare is going to be. Hillary's is we're going to fix the system, and I don't know if she actually said what they were going to do to fix it. There's huge problems in the whole thing of the government being involved in healthcare. Um, Hillary's always been in favor of single payer plan, a basically government run healthcare program like you would find in Canada or a lot of the European nations. And some would say she's wanted Obamacare to fail so that they could bring in, so the government could come to the rescue. Big problem is the government has come in again on the um, paying side, right? And not on the cap side. The problem isn't that we don't have enough money to pay for health care. The problem is that the prices continue and continue and continue to go up. And nobody's asking the question of who's going away with all this money. The money doesn't go nowhere. So there are hospitals and administrators and healthcare workers and surgeons and doctors and insurance companies, and everybody's making money. Everybody's pointing fingers at everybody else, and then they're all going off to play golf with each other. And then the American people cry out, "Oh, the rates are going up." Right. The government says we're going to come in and rescue you and help you pay. Well, you help you pay by forcing things upon you. You know, force your employer to pay, or you take it out of taxes, which means, oh, I'm going to help you pay, but I'm going to take the money from you, and then I'm going to give it back to you and tell you I'm doing you a favor. So
don't do me any favors.
Personally, I think the whole system's messed up. Whenever you bring more money into the system, supply and demand says the prices will go up. And if the government has put in regulations that say more people will pay more money into the system, the prices will go up. It's guaranteed. Supply and demand, it always works that way. Unfortunately, the other side is you have to go, I refuse to pay that. And people are going, no, I'm going to die, so it doesn't matter what it costs. I'll pay anything, save my life. And so we have this thing that we're kind of being threatened with our life if we don't give money. Isn't that what gangsters do, right? The extortion. If you don't pay me, we
won't give you services.
You will be hurt. If you don't buy fire insurance, your place may be burnt down. If you don't buy health insurance, you're all going to die. Car insurance or whatever. Anyway, it's a mess. I think maybe at some other time we can talk about what got us here. It's really moving healthcare into a profit motive instead of a ministry motive. And there's been books about that. And it's pretty well established. And now we're moving it into the government control.
Well, we're going to have to talk about the other issues on another segment.
Okay.
Because we're over
I
time.
think we've gone way over time.
And maybe we'll remember what that other item was.
We'll think about it before we come back. So if you have something you want us to talk about it, go ahead and send that to our Facebook page and we'll take it up. All right.
Good night.
Night.